Hi everyone, welcome back to Cody's Lab. So you can see here the mice that I took from the mine. I have 3 of them, and as you can see they are doing just fine. Had Canyon, who by the way works with mice professionally, and they seem to be in perfect health. They're actually a little bit larger than they were when I first picked them up, so they're growing up. And they're not super skittish from me. Like, I can still kind of move around and they'll do things in there. They still don't go full out on the wheel whenever the light's on, but you know, they're getting better. And I'm basically treating them like pets. I know a lot of you guys wanted to know what happened to these mice. Eventually I'd like to actually breed them and kind of domesticate them, because they are insanely cute. I don't know if you can see. These are actually kangaroo mice. They're dark kangaroo mice native to this area. And when they run, they're super cute. I don't know of any pet stores or anyone that has these, so I'd love to set up and actually make these available. But that's probably a little bit of a long-term project. For now, let's actually go have a look at the plants and see how they're doing. So I've got a problem with my plants. You can see here, earwigs are eating them alive. And this is after I've sprayed the plants down with soapy neem oil. They just keep coming back. I'm going to try one more thing before I resort to malathion, and that is some ethyl alcohol. Let's see what it does to them. They don't like it. They're going to wind up hungover if they survive. Hopefully I don't kill the plants. This is 94% ethyl alcohol. Is it killing it? He's not happy. It might be killing it. It should just evaporate off the plant, right? It won't be residual, but it'll kill the ones that are on it. So as you can see, the plants have suffered severe damage from those earwigs, but fortunately it seems like the ethanol was able to kill them. That's good news. That means I can actually kill the bugs without killing the plants or poisoning my fish. But of course that still leaves all the bugs that are not on the plants at the time that I spray them. So I've got some boric acid, and I'm going to try putting it around the base of the buckets like I've been doing here, to see if that'll get the ones that are hiding down in the ground here. I've also got some traps set up around here. Let's see if these have anything in them. So this is just a container with some holes in the top and some oil. Looks like that one's got a couple of them in there. Let's go see some of the others. Yeah, that one's got some. So that's just vegetable oil inside of a little container. Oh, that one's got lots of them. Look at that. That's working really well. Yeah, so just some used vegetable oil. They seem to be attracted to it. They go down in there and drown. That's another way of doing things. Hopefully my plants will stop being eaten alive. So I just finished putting some boric acid down on the ground by the buckets, and by the looks of it, looks like my pump shut off. I do have them on a timer now, so they turn on for half an hour, off for an hour. That seems to be working. But ultimately I think the reason for this infestation was actually back to the wood chips. As you can see, I've pulled them back and have spread them out so they can dry. But while I was doing that, there was loads of earwigs down in there. So they must have been using the wood chips to hide in and reproduce. So yeah, I'm going to be in the process of raking most of this up and moving it away from the plants. Okay, so it's nighttime again. So if they're still here, they should be on the plants. And I'd see there's one. And last night, these kale plants were just crawling with them. Now there's only one. That's an improvement. Let's see. I think I showed the peppers when I was filming last. Is there any on the pepper plants? I don't see any. So that's the ticket. Knock them back with ethyl alcohol, and then keep them down with the boric acid. Seems to have done the trick. Oh good, maybe the plants can start recovering. This is a huge improvement. And these guys don't have any on them. Good. So that's a victory in my book. Now I can put in the rest of the plants without worrying too much. I mean, I'll still watch them, but you know, now I'm more willing to go out and buy another $200 worth of plants. Here's our cherry tree that we planted. I just gave it some water. It's certainly still alive. Looks like it's growing at the tip still. Seems like it's dropping some of its leaves to conserve water. Nothing I wouldn't expect. This other one here seems to be doing okay as well. It's got some new buds that are coming out. Looks like the leaf cutters and the grasshoppers are eating at its leaves, but yeah, seems to be doing okay. It's dropping a couple of leaves as well. Oh, looks like the gooseberries are ripe. See this? Yeah, they taste terrible, but they are edible.
They don't taste terrible. I mean, they don't taste good either.
Well, they're very astringent. Got a lot of tannins, and only just slightly sweet. Look at that. Choke cherries actually have something on them this year. They're not ripe, but there you go. Might have something to pick. Probably should have came up here with some pantyhose and covered up the flowers after the bees pollinated them so that the birds didn't eat them, because the birds will eat them when they're green, even though they've got lots of cyanide in them. The birds don't really seem to care. A lot of people suggested that I try grafting the domestic cherries onto these choke cherries. And I did some research and I think it will work. Certainly worth a shot, but probably a little late in the year to do it. I'll probably attempt that next year sometime, early in the spring. So here's that little apple tree we planted. And it's still alive, but the grasshoppers are really eating at the leaves. Should probably bring something up here to spray on it to keep them from eating them. But before I do that, I want to get the berries picked off this bush. Yeah, so here's a handful that I picked. Well, we're getting quite a few. Must be a good year for them.
Think we can fill a 5-gallon bucket?
I doubt it. Hey, Comet. How you doing? So Canyon and I actually made the berries into some jam. You can see here. It's very seedy, and well, we didn't grind them up very much, but we added quite a bit of sugar, and the jam is actually not that bad now. Good. Actually goes pretty good on some whole wheat bread. I mean, it's not my favorite, but it's a good use for those wild berries. Here's a quick updates on the birds and the bunnies. See, the chukars are down there. I think I mentioned in another video that I screened off the bottom so they couldn't dig out. I'm going to bring in any leftover sand that I've got, and I'm going to give it to these guys so they can play in it. Just put it right in the middle of their pen here. Got a couple of places for them to go, for the birds to escape the bunnies, and the bunnies to eat food. I've been feeding them in there, as well as on the ground. You see I've added a roof. It's mostly just a tarp for now, just to keep the sun off of them and keep the birds from flying out. So yeah, There's a little update on that. I got a little automatic waterer down here, which really doesn't work all that well, so I've got some bottles to supplement them. Gosh, people and their motorcycles. Let's take a little peek at the bees here. See if I'll make sure they're not building wax to my camera. It is still in there recording. Looks good. Looks like they've stopped building combs, as I predicted. Alright. We'll probably get to see another update on the video.